I sort of accidentally figured out how to make northern lights and shooting stars outside the window, so I built a cottage for Santa Claus to go with it. Since I built the little Christmas tree farm outside my house, I thought that I should probably build an interior that kind of matches the Christmassy mood, so I thought, why not just build a cottage for Santa Claus or a little workshop possibly? But yeah, in the end I decided to go with Santa's cottage because I sort of accidentally figured out how to make the northern lights, and after that it kind of just became less about the workshop, more about coziness and the view outside. But yeah, I'm just gonna be yapping you through the process. So here I'm just covering the ground in snow. I'm using these round carpets and making sure to turn them around so that the back side of the carpet is upwards, because that one doesn't have a proper texture to it. That's like super obvious. I just dyed them white so that it would look like snow, and then I did the same with the night sky, but I just dyed them black. Honestly, if there's one tip I can give you, it is to use these carpets for anything and everything. They're just so good for everything. You can make like new wallpaper with these carpets if you want, since you can dye them any color, like the world is your oyster. You can use them as Christmas decorations, you can use them as ground, you can use them as water, you can use them as sky, you can use them in everything. These are the most used item for me. I have probably near 200 of these at this point. I have bought so many for my Horde and Alliance build. Obviously my Horde build currently is my pirate ship indoors, which requires some water, but probably not as much as you're thinking because it has a little bit of a story to it. But yeah, that's a different thing. So here you can see me building the windows. I'm using the big beams that you normally can't size down or size up. You can hit the keybind to size them down, and for me I had to rebind it because I didn't have the keybind on my keyboard that they were using by default. So that's a helpful tip. There are some items that can be also sized up more than the 200% by hitting that keybind, but shh, don't tell Blizzard about that. This is a secret strictly between you and me, and no one else can know. Anyway, here I am building the frame for the windows. I wanted these X sort of things up there, and then I'm putting a beam under them so it sort of frames it nicely, as you can see here. I was considering putting some stained glass or something there behind the X's, but it ended up blocking too much of the view, so I didn't like that, and I just left it as it is, sort of. With the curtains it ended up looking really nice. It might look a little bit silly right now, but trust me, it's gonna end up looking so pretty, especially with the view. So we're starting out with the trees, but moving on to the northern lights like pretty much instantly, because this is when I got the idea. So if you want to make the northern lights yourself in a build, you need the replica tome of Fell Secrets. That's the main item for this. There is not really any other one that can really do this, in my opinion, as well as this one. It's from a vendor in the Demon Hunter class hall, and it unlocks after you get the achievement for completing all possible order hall upgrades. And it also costs 2000 order resources, so it's not the cheapest piece of decor, especially if you want many of them. But by doing the daily quests, the world quests in the Broken Isles, you can get quite a bit of order resources, especially if you do the world bosses. They give you like 1000 if the quests are up, of course. And sometimes there's world quests to kill elites, and they are usually giving about 800 order resources or so. It's super easy and fast to get. Once you have the books, you just size them up to max, you just rotate them in an angle that you really like, and you hide them behind something, so you know they come out from behind the carpet or behind the mountains. Yeah, that's pretty much all that there is to it. I think it looks pretty natural, it looks cool. I didn't want to put any more because I really wanted it to be sort of subtle and more natural looking, and it's not that often that you can see insane northern lights. I used to live really far up north. We had northern lights very often, and usually they were just sort of faintly there so that you couldn't see any shapes to them. They were just the sky, making the sky look sort of this green tone, especially with the light pollution as well. It wasn't always the best looking thing, so I just wanted to make these ones pretty but not like crazy bright in your face. And the shooting stars are just the brazier of Eluna behind the carpets. Also, I wanted to build a little spot for Santa to look at his book of naughty and nice, people. So he has this levitating book which updates all the time the names of naughty and nice people, and he has his little pencil on it. You can see soon how I'm going to be putting a pencil so that it's writing there. It's like levitating in the air. And I added these plushies here at first so that, you know, it kind of looks like they're looking at him and he's spilling the tea on who's naughty and who's nice. Okay, look at the view. And it gets even better, okay? At this point I decided that the green and the red I was using was a little bit too bright for my liking. So I bought some dyes that were a little bit more toned down, a little bit more natural looking. And then I of course had to make my little soup thingy again. I love this method of making like something be on the stove. I like using the little grape barrel thing and then putting a fence post in there so it looks like you can stir it. And yeah, the kitchen I did not put as much effort into because, well, first of all, I don't really like decorating kitchens because I don't really like cooking myself either. It's not really my thing. It's just I was thinking like Santa will always just have nice food on the table. Like it's not gonna go bad. He's Santa. Here I decided that the house was looking a little bit too bright for my liking, so I changed the walls. You can see later on that I changed them even more from this like cottage style. I still think that the walls are a little bit too bright at this point, so yeah. But yeah, now you can see the pencil trick thingy I was talking about. I love doing this. The levitating book and that wand thing, just they go so perfectly together and it looks magical. I just kept returning to that view all the time because I was so shocked that I made that happen. I did not expect to have proper nice looking northern lights, but I don't know, I was so happy when I made it work and I just kept going to the window and looking at them. I have so much footage of just standing there. I had to cut off so much of that. But yeah, here you can see the process of how I made the wreath, is that called? Or garland? I'm not entirely sure what it is in English, but yeah, it was very tedious and I ended up putting another one up on the fireplace as well. First I put up these little drapes and made a different sort of garland, I think it's called, and I just made them red and green, and then I decided to also turn them around so that they are not the same, like every single one of them. Here you can see I've kind of turned them around so that they look a bit different and brought them a bit closer because it didn't fit one in the middle when I was done with it. Then I made a Christmas tree, which I made in a little bit different way than I did outside. So I actually made the bushes point downwards so that the branches would be going downwards. And I found it much easier to decorate the tree this way. So people were definitely onto something there. I put some candles on the tree. I know it's a fire hazard, but it's okay. This isn't Minecraft, so we will be okay. Next is a story about the tree topper. I really wanted to use the Dalar and Sunscone, but it was so expensive on the auction house that I decided to just have it crafted. So I went to Northern and I farmed for some lumber for a little bit. It actually took way less time than I expected, and now I feel really stupid for having paid so much for decor when I could have just literally been requesting people to make it for me through crafting orders. It's okay, I just thought that I would show you here the process of how I made it happen. But yeah, it took about like 10 minutes for someone to pick up the crafting order, and then I had my tree topper for 2k instead of over 70. So that was a pretty good way to spend time, I think. It ended up looking really nice on top of the tree as well. So next time I know and I can just make a crafting order request instead of spending tens of thousands of gold. Ugh, I cannot believe I have spent so much gold already, and I did not even realize that I could do it this way, this easily and fast, but you live and you learn. I also ended up using these lamps as the other decoration or ornaments on the tree. I thought that it looked super nice and brought some cool tones into the build as well, because a lot of it is looking pretty red and orange and green right now, and I'm kind of liking that the tree is a little bit more blue toned and cool toned. I did end up buying one thing from the auction house still after this, because I had spent like ages on this build already. So I bought the little train thingy from the auction house because it was just much faster to do it that way. At that point it was kind of getting to the point where I just had to finish this because I had other things to do with my time as well, believe it or not. In other news, I logged on to beta the other evening and I noticed that plots have borders now shown. It's like this glowy border that you can see on your plot, so you don't walk out of your plot anymore, and you see where you can place your furniture and everything without, you know, getting the error message all the time. And second part of this news is that we can now see on beta the Night Elf and the Blood Elf house styles, and I tried them out and I made little shorts of them as well. They are so cool. I think the Blood Elf one actually might be even better than the Night Elf house style, and that's very difficult for me to say because I do love Night Elves a lot. They were just so versatile and fun to build with. I was so happy. The Night Elf one is really cool. It has different styles. It's more like this ornamental style, and then there's this like woodland style, and there was a lot of different options for Night Elves as well for the exterior house style, but the Blood Elves had these big towers that you could add. All the dormers were so cool, all the windows were so cool, the entrances, everything. So many options for the roof colors as well. Well, they're the same options as everyone else has, but it's still just more visible, I feel like, because the roof colors are so like visible in Blood Elf architecture. It was so cool. I can already imagine people building like bridges between the towers and all sorts of custom towers because they are just so perfect. They're so tall, and the houses will just be so eye-catching and cool looking, I think, and it's making me consider things. I didn't really feel inspired to build anything Blood Elf themed, but now that I know that that's coming, I think I will be building something definitely to fit that theme. I was also considering making a little bit longer form video about all of the different options for the Night Elf and Blood Elf house styles or exteriors. So if there are any people who would be interested in seeing that, I would totally be down to make that because I would love to play around with the houses. But yeah, let me know and I will make that happen. I'm also logging into beta almost every single day to just check if there's anything new and just to play around with the housing system. I have some stuff planned out what I want to build when midnight comes, and I'm super excited for it. Yesterday I was kind of marking everything down to my calendar, since yesterday they announced the pre-patch date, and that will be January 20th, so remember that. That's when the pre-patch is coming. I actually have no idea if there's going to be new decor coming with that, but I hope so, of course. In midnight we'll get plenty anyway, so that's fine. I'm about to take you guys on a little tour around this Santa's cottage build. I hope you guys get some use out of the little Northern Light tutorial as well. Here we are, we're taking a little tour. So on the right you can see all the bookshelves, the fireplace, the empty pillows now that don't have anyone sitting there because I didn't have more plushies and I had used already enough gold on this build. And here we have Santa's food that lasts forever. It doesn't go bad because he's Santa. The logic is logicking, don't worry. Then you can see the view here, the northern lights and the brazier of Luna just doing some shooting stars. And here we have all of the gifts and the Santa's records. So there's the naughty gifts, his sack thing, and the nice gifts, the mail system thing, lots of books and records, and here is this list of naughty and nice. And here's the kitchen that he doesn't really use because, well, his food doesn't spoil, as I told you before. And here we're going towards the Christmas tree, and I'll give you a little better look at it. Yeah, it looks so pretty. I really love how it turned out. I love the train item so much. I love the magical book as well. I think the wand looks just perfect. It's like a pencil. I love the details of the fireplace. It just turned out really good in my opinion. And just seeing the view from different angles is so nice. It's so cozy. I think it's all just perfect. It's Santa's cottage. I like it and I hope you guys do too. Let me know if you want to see the beta houses and I will make it happen. For now, I'm wishing you all happy holidays and thank you for listening to me yap. And as always, happy building!